Hello children, for the last couple of weeks we have been studying about software. We have been doing lesson 2 types of software. Today we will continue with that same chapter, chapter 2 types of software. In the previous videos I have taught you what are the types of software, that is system software, application software, and what are the various types of system software, and we have also studied in detail about the various types of system software like operating system and utility software. Today I will be talking about application software and the types of application software. Also I will talk about some utility software which is given at the end of your chapter, and at the end I will be talking about those small nuggets of information given in the boxes in the first few pages of your chapter. So we start with lesson 2 types of software part 3. Now we know software is of two types, system software and application software. Example of system software, an operating system like Windows 10. Example of application software, a word processing software like MS Word. A computer cannot run without system software, but it is the application software which makes the computer useful. Now we studied about a system software in the last few videos. Now let us study about application software. Application software are sets of programs that perform specific types of jobs like typing, doing calculations and many more. That means if you have a software like MS Word, you can only do things like typing, editing and so on. You cannot do calculations and you can't do much drawing. On the other hand, a software like Paint, you can do drawing but not much of typing. So each of this application software is good for a particular type of job. There are two types of application software: general purpose application software, also called packages, and specific purpose application software, also called customized software. Now these are the types of general purpose application software: word processing software, electronic spreadsheet, database management system, presentation software, desktop publishing software, graphics software, multimedia software. And there are a few more types also. Now this all looks rather mysterious and strange and Greek and Latin to you. Don't be frightened. You already know about some of these softwares, though you may be not knowing that it's called a graphics software or multimedia software. Now let us go into detail about each type of software. First of all, the word processing software. Examples of word processing software given at the bottom: MS Word, OpenOffice.org.writer and WordPad. So you all have worked with MS Word and WordPad. You know very well what it is used for. So there's the definition. A word processor helps us to create documents like letters, poems, essays and notices and many more documents. You can easily type, edit and format the text and also take a hard copy. Now students of class 5, I think you don't have any difficulty in typing in MS Word, editing or making changes, and formatting, that is making the text look beautiful using bold, italics, change color and many other things. Electronic spreadsheet. Examples: MS Excel, OpenOffice.org Calc, Lotus 123. Now electronic spreadsheets are programs which you have not studied about in junior school. You will study when you go to class 6. A spreadsheet program helps you to manage and organize numerical data. That means this is a program which is mainly used for doing calculations. It is used for financial accounting, cost analysis, interest calculations, etc. Well, you won't understand all these things. That is all things that is done in offices. Talk to your parents and elder brothers and sisters. They may be able to tell you what is financial accounting and cost analysis. Database management system, also things that we have not studied about so far. We will study in senior school. Database software helps us to arrange and store a large amount of information in an organized manner. You can easily create, add, find, sort, and print the information in a database. Examples of DBMS software, MS Access, which you will study in class 7 or 8 in senior school, and FoxPro and Oracle, which is used by professional programmers while writing their programs. Presentation software, well, some of you may not be knowing what is a presentation software, but all of you know MS PowerPoint. Yes, MS PowerPoint is an example of a presentation software. A presentation software is used to present an idea or concept in a lively manner. Those who have made slides in PowerPoint will understand what that means. This software helps you to create and display slides. So, you have done PowerPoint in class 4. You know how to create and display slides, and you know that this is used to present an idea or concept in an interesting manner. Another example of presentation software is Adobe Flash. The next general purpose application software is desktop publishing software. Desktop publishing software helps you to combine text and graphics to design books, magazines, and posters. Now, using MS Word, you can possibly make a poster, but then MS Word is not really meant for making posters. It's a word processing software. Okay, so more advanced than a word processing software is a desktop publishing software. This has much more features for handling pictures and text. Examples of desktop publishing software: CorelDRAW, Adobe InDesign, and Quark Express. Graphic software. What's graphic software? MS Paint. MS Paint, the software you love so much, is a graphic software. It's used to create images like logos, cartoons, graphs, and much more. So MS Paint is basically a very simple software. Real professionals, they would use something like Photoshop, which you may have heard of, and Dreamweaver, which is highly professional stuff. And we have multimedia software. Multimedia software used to create video, animation, sound, graphics, and text. Example, Windows, Movie Maker. So multimedia software are used when you want to join or two videos together, or cut and paste videos, or make a video from a lot of text, and things like that. Now children, we learnt about the various types of general purpose application software. Now I will be teaching about specific purpose application software. After that, I will talk about some points of difference between system software and application software. And at the end, I'll talk about the use of something called Operation Support System and Defragmenter. There are two types of application software. General purpose software are designed to fulfill the general needs of people of the entire world, for example, word processor. What does this actually mean? If you have MS Word in your computer, the MS Word in your computer will be the same as the MS Word in a computer in the United States. Somebody using MS Word in Australia or somebody using MS Word in South America will be having the same MS Word. So it is fulfilling the general needs of the entire world. On the other hand, specific purpose software are designed to fulfill the special needs of one or a small group of users. For example, the report card generation software of Denobly Group of Schools. Now, in Mr. Vikas's room, there is a computer, and in that computer, and only in that computer in our school, there is this software for report card generation. This software is also there in one computer of each of the Dinobili group of schools. You won't find this software in any other school or any other place anywhere in this world, because this report card generation software is made only for the Dinobili group of schools. Why? Because this software is used for preparing and printing the report cards of our school. And our system, our grades, or the number of subjects, the type of subjects, the grouping of subjects, the honors system, these are all unique for our school. So other schools don't have the same system. So our report card generation software would be of no use for other schools. In the similar way, report card generation software of other schools will be of no use to us. So specific purpose software are designed to fulfill the needs of one user or a very small group of users. Some differences between system software and application software. System software control the operations of the computer and run the application programs. That's a very good example of system software. Application software is installed as per the requirement of the user. So the key word here is requirement of the user. Somebody like Rosie Miss would be having MS Word in her computer because she does a lot of typing. On the other hand, in our accounts office, they will be requiring something like MS Excel because they have to do a lot of calculations. System software includes operating system and utilities. Application software includes word processors and presentation software and many more. Third difference, you cannot interact much with system software. You can certainly interact with application software. Now it is not true that you cannot absolutely interact with operating system. You do interact, but not much. An operating system does things like managing your files, managing your memory without you knowing much about it. On the other hand, things that are done in MS Word and application software or PowerPoint takes place only because you have given the command for it to be done. System software can run without any application software in the computer. It is quite possible to have a computer with only Windows operating system and maybe one antivirus. Such a computer will be rather useless. It is the application software which make the computer useful, but the application software cannot run without any system software like operating system in your computer. Now we talk about some utility programs which are mentioned at the end of the chapter. The first one, Operational Support Systems or OSS. Operational Support System is a special type of software installed by communication service providers to operate and manage computer or telephone network on your computer. It is also called Operations Support System. What do we have here? This seems like the compartment of a train. Now sometimes this happens. Your father has got seat number 2, mummy has got seat number 13, you have got seat number 22 and bhaiya has got seat number 29. Now that's not a fun way to travel, would it be? You would like to be together, but this is how it has happened. This has probably happened because there are a good number of you, 4 of you, and also because there is not enough free space in the compartment. Now the same thing happens with the hard disk. Sometimes when a file is stored in the hard disk, the file may be too large or there may be insufficient disk space for the whole file to be stored in one place. Just like sometimes the group of passengers traveling is too many, or there is not enough of empty unreserved seats in the compartment for the whole group to be accommodated together. So what happens to the file? So the operating system breaks up the file into a few parts and stores each part in a different area of the hard disk. This is called fragmentation. Now, what would you do, or what would your parents do when you have to travel like this? Your father will probably do is, he will get up and request his fellow passengers and interchange seats. Now this would happen only if other families are also broken up. They also wouldn't want to travel sitting separate. So all the families will come together and interchange seats so that they can come together. So the same thing happens with the hard disk. Now first of all, what's the problem with this fragmentation? This fragmentation slows down the loading of the file. Anytime you want to open a file, it takes a long time to open. So now all the files which are broken up like this needs to be put together. This is called defragmentation. The software that does this defragmenting is called disk defragmenter. Now along with your Windows operating system, there is one utility software called disk defragmenter. Now if you have the Windows 7 operating system, this is how you can run disk defragmenter. First step, click on Start, then click on All Programs, then Accessories, then Systems Tools, and then Disk Defragmenter. Step 2, the Disk Defragmenter window appears. This is the Disk Defragmenter window. Select the disk you want to defragment. Okay, here you have the disk mentioned. You have to click on the disk that you want to defragment. And step number 4, click on defragment disk. At the bottom you have the defragment disk button. You have to click on that. So children, we have studied about software. We have learned how software is classified into system and application software. We have learned what are the various types of system software, also what are the various types of application software, and what is the function of each type. Now finally, at the end, I'll be talking about the information given in the small boxes on page 17 and 19 of your book. Here we have a picture of a gentleman called John Tukey. Now, what is his claim to fame? He was the first to use the term software. Now, everybody knows what is software, but he was the first one to use this term. Before that, the term software was not used. Vinod Dham, he headed the team which developed the famous Pentium processor. A processor or a microprocessor, as you know, is the most important chip inside your CPU box. And a very famous processor was the Pentium processor, and Mr. Vinod Dham was the gentleman who headed a team which developed this processor. So that is why he is known as the father of Pentium. And yes, he is an Indian, though he worked for IBM company in the United States. Charles W. Bachman, known for his outstanding contribution in database technology, awarded the Turing Prize, the highest prize in computers, in 1973. Seymour Rubinstein founded a company, Micropro International, in 1978. Micropro developed the word processor WordStar. So what is so important about WordStar? It was the most used word processor before MS Word. Nobody uses WordStar anymore, but before MS Word came, in the 80s and in the early 90s, anybody using a word processor would probably be using WordStar. And here are some assignments on page 25 and 26. Please do them in your textbook. And with this, we come to the end of this chapter. Now, I take this opportunity, wish you all happy holidays. Now, hopefully this will be my last video I suppose I can start my next chapter in class. Till then, have a nice time.